Hi, Eric Gibaud, Gibaud.com, and today I'm going to explain why I chose my next camera to be the new Lumix S5 Mark II. What were the contenders, and also why do I need this camera? I always say that unless you can afford it, always buy something only if you need it. So yeah, I do need it. So I'm going to get into details. So let's start. So why do I need a new camera? Well, this is really simple. I review lenses for Micro Four Third, for APS-C, and normally a Micro Four Third I use my Olympus, my M1 or my OMD5 Mark II, and for APS-C I use my Fujifilm XE1. But anyway, these lenses normally they exist in different mount in APS-C, so I show in Fujifilm, but it also exists for Sony and for other Canon M, so that will work. So this is fine, okay? But many people tell me, Eric, you never review lenses on a full frame camera. Yeah, I don't have any full frame anymore. So for a long time I thought, yeah, that's right, I should be able to present more lenses, because many brands ask me, do you want to review this? Wow, I don't have full frame camera for this one, okay? So I was thinking, well, get a full frame camera, the cheapest you can find. I want a mirrorless because there are more options in mirrorless for testing lenses, and do it. So my idea was to get a Sony A7IV Mark II, which is really affordable, and not spend much more money on these projects for just testing lenses. But then I thought, you are going to buy a camera just to test 5, 6, maybe 10 lenses a year. Well, what locking this money for what? Why don't you think of a camera that could help you do more things? Photography side, I am covered. I've got my M1, OMD5 Mark II, I've got a Fujifilm X100V, I've got the Hasselblad 907X with the digital back. Photography wise, that's fine, I don't need a camera. So I thought maybe that could bring something for video side, okay? So maybe do different thing for my client, for myself, for the YouTube channel. So I thought, yeah, then in this case, don't think of the A7IV Mark II, which is late on many video feature. Well, late, old, I would say late, no, it's old, okay? So what camera could you pick? First of all, why do I forget about the Fujifilm X-H2S? I think this is a wonderful camera. Video side, this is brilliant, but this is APS-C. So then I would get an extra APS-C camera that would not solve my full frame lens testing anyway. So forget about it, although it's a great camera, okay? So I thought about 4 possible cameras. The Sony A7IV Mark IV, the Nikon Z6 Mark II, the Canon R6 Mark II, and the Lumix S5 Mark II. So let's see what is in favor and what is against each. By the way, for Fujifilm, I also want to test anamorphic lenses, affordable anamorphic lenses. So for Fujifilm, so far there is nothing, okay? So that also put Fujifilm on the side, okay? But mainly it was the fact that it was not full frame for testing lenses that are full frame, okay? So the first one, the Sony A7IV Mark IV. What is against and what is in favor? Against, the price is more than what I want to spend. Second, the stabilization, I think, is not as good as the Lumix or the Olympus I have, is a bit back, okay? Overheating. I know some people don't have any problem with overheating with this camera, with the A7IV Mark IV, but some do, and I live in the Canary Islands, when sometimes it can be really hot, and if I go to mainland Spain in summer, it's even hotter, okay? So forget that, that's a problem for me. In favor of the A7IV Mark IV, actually I reviewed it, I'll leave you the link here. So what's in favor of the A7IV Mark IV? Well, the autofocus is brilliant, really the fastest I've seen, really good, and the video feature are fine, they're nice, they're good, okay? So that would be a good option, but the rest kicks it out of my possible choice, okay? Then we look at the Nikon Z6 Mark II, I also reviewed, I'll leave you the link here, okay? Against, well, I think the video features are not as advanced as on other, and maybe it's psychological for me, but I see it more as a photo camera more than a video camera. and the price was fine. So the price would fit, but the rest I was not convinced about the feature for video. Maybe stupid, but I see it more like a photo camera more than a video camera. Okay. Then the Canon R6 Mark II. Well, I didn't review it yet. I hope I will review it soon. But in favor, stabilization is almost okay, acceptable. The video feature are fine. The price is okay. But the autofocus is not as good. But the worst part is the mount, RF mount. And Canon does not want third-party lens maker to have RF lenses. So that really leaves me just with manual lenses or some kind of fancy adapters. Now that's a nightmare for me. So that's a pity that Canon is not opening this RF mount to Sigma or other brand or Tamron or whatever. And well, for me, this is end of the story. No, it's not possible just because of the RF lock, I would say, lockdown or I don't embargo, whatever you want to call it. The result is that that's not feasible for what I wanted to do. So let's look at the Lumix S5 Mark II. Well, Panasonic has made a big marketing operation. They actually invited, I don't know if 50 YouTubers, I don't know, influencers, but really heavy guys, you know, heavy guys, not the weights, but the influence on the YouTube channels. And when you see all the reviews, you always have the doubt that if they're really honest, because they received a free camera, or I don't know if they have to give it back, but they all went home with the camera. So they all traveled to Tokyo in Japan, tested it for several days, and they made a review. But still, among these guys, there are several guys I really trust, like DP Review, like KW, which is not really serious when he speaks, but really honest, I think. So serious in the way it's funny. Okay, that's a fun channel, honestly. But I think what he says is always, yeah, serious. Not the way he said, but what he says. So there are several guys I trust. I could listen to and watch many reviews and have an idea about the camera, how it is. Okay, so what convinced me? First, it responds to what I needed, a full frame camera for testing lenses. Speaking about lenses, Panasonic Lumix S line is an agreement with Sigma or association with Sigma and Leica. That means they have already about 60 lenses available. So whoa, that's for testing, that's a lot. And for option, I would try to have or whatever. Okay, that's fantastic. Then I like that there is dual ISO 400 and 4000 base. So for low light video, this is fantastic. 24 megapixel resolution. That doesn't sound much now that several have 40 or more megapixel. But this is not really a problem for me, because first I've got my Hasselblad with up to 50 million pixel. Then I've got my Olympus. I can do high res that brings to 80 million pixel. But still, my idea is more video. So for 24 million pixel for video, that's fine. So let's look at the video feature that I really like and other things, okay? 6K open gate. It means I can record on the full sensor, and then I can reframe in post-production. It means with one take, I can get vertical video for stories, horizontal for something else, 16:9 or 4:1:1 or 4:3 or whatever. I can reframe in post-production. I think this is a big plus, good advantage. Then the memory card has standard SD UHS-2, and that influences a lot when you want to spend reasonable money. If they put CF Express, then prices go just nuts. It means that comes out really expensive to add several memory cards. So having SD UHS-2 standard UHS-2, I think is a really good point when you want to limit your budget. Okay. The autofocus was always a massive problem on Lumix, especially in video. In photography, well, you can repeat the picture sometimes, not always, but sometimes. But in video, if the autofocus is lousy, you have to repeat the whole take. Maybe it doesn't work, and you waste a lot of time. Yeah, and you get angry. All this is a problem. But for the first time, they've included a phase detection autofocus, not just contrast autofocus. So now it's like an hybrid. It makes both at the same time, contrast detect and also phase detection. So I think this is a big plus, and now for what I've seen in reviews, it's really that close to the Sony A7 Mark IV. So it makes a camera you can completely use in autofocus. Obviously, if I do more cine and things like this, I will do manual focusing. But if I want to record myself on my own, having an autofocus is a big plus. If I move or show something, this is fantastic. So big in favor. There is no recording limits due to overheating. So the limit now is your memory card space and also the battery, but you can still connect a power bank, so that's fine. So it does not overheat. This is a big point for me because sometimes I will record something really short, so any camera will be fine. But if I start speaking like here, like it's a third language I'm recording, I've been recording for 60 minutes. So I cannot have something that overheats, okay? So this is important. Stabilization. Well, we always say or hear that an IBIS is really easier to make for micro four thirds than for a full frame sensor. And here, sorry guys, other brands, but Panasonic has proved that is not true. This stabilization is as good as Olympus or close to Olympus. I am eager to compare the OM1 with this S5 Mark II to see the difference in stabilization, but it looks like it is brilliant. Other point, as I want to do video and things that are different, this is great that it has feature specific to anamorphic lenses. You know, these wide lenses. The first video I made this year, the first picture I made this year, I'll leave the link here. I used an anamorphic lens for iPhone to show to present, and I like this feature for some things, so that it includes this possibility to manage anamorphic, de-squeeze, to have the correct preview, and also the IBIS is prepared for anamorphic. There's a special feature so you can stabilize with anamorphic lens that is so wide that you have problem in the corners, in the sides, okay? So there's something special for it, so this is a really good point. And then you have the LUT, the LUT, which is lookup table, to colorize normally in post-production. In this case, if you want, you can import your own LUT and do it in the camera body while recording. So you save post-production time and you already see how it will look. So good point. The price is really fine. Price is the top I wanted to spend. I guess that's good. Cons. Well, there are not that many. The only one I see that if you want to do a 4K 60 or 50 frame per second, then it doesn't use the full frame sensor. It crops to APS-C. That's a pity, honestly. If it was not like this, the camera would be a lot more expensive, and probably it could not have standard SDHS2 card. You will need CF Express that are a lot faster cards. So price would be different. Everything would be different. So I think this is a minor con, especially because I'm not doing a lot of slow motion, so that's okay. I think for me, that's fine. So how will I use this camera? What for? First, as I said, to test lenses, full frame lenses, so I can review them on my channel. Second, for video. I want to learn a lot more about video. I know about photography, we always keep learning, even if we know some things, but in video I'm really far back. Okay, so I want to better my knowledge. I want to do different things like short film, clips, fashion film, interviews, and also landscape. So many people say, landscape with video, why do you need that? Well, I want to use anamorphic for that. Why? Because I live in the Canary Islands. Very often I record in my car because I'm in a hurry or it's no wind or whatever. But many people are asking me, Eric, show more of the landscape where you are in the Canary Islands. We'd like to see more if I travel. So in that case, I would love to be able to do a review when I speak like this. So you actually move myself to several places. So in the back, I'm on the side and you can enjoy the landscape in the back. I think that could be nice. So when I speak about landscape, this is my idea. Okay, that's the reason. Okay. So what lens will I use? Well, right now I don't have any L-mount lens. So I asked Digit Photo from France who's sending me the camera to include the kit lens with the 20 to 60 millimeter. It's not really luminous, but I've got at least one lens to start with. But anyway, Sirui or how you say, okay, they've confirmed and sending me two anamorphic lenses. the 35 and the 100mm. I have to give back the 100mm, I can keep the 35mm. So I will start to do some different things, and I want also to review cinema lenses for this mount. So I think there's plenty of use I can do and have fun with, and try different lenses. Okay, so we'll start with this. Then I also have many video accessories, like the Holy Land gear they've sent me, like a screen monitor, like a video transmitter, many things, or things by Moment, like battery, things like this, also by Small Rig. I want to really use all this extra gear I have to really try to do things different and learn at the same time. So I think this is interesting for me, but also there are many people on my channel that just want to know about photography, and this is fine. But there are also many people who ask me more about videography. I think this is a good point, that I've got some knowledge, but not as much as I wish I had. So it's interesting that while I'm learning new things about videography, to share it with people. I think this is really interesting, and that we help each other. But the question I receive and what I answer and what I discover, I think this is great. So with this camera, I'm thinking of making several videos, the same as I did with the OM1. I made like one general presentation, then I made 2 videos about photography and 1 about videography. In this case, I'll do the other way around: 1 general, 1 photography, to speak about the photography side of this camera, although this is not my idea to use it for that specifically, and then 2 videos about video, because there are so many features I want to work on them, show them, and show how it works. Okay, so this is our idea. I will receive it in about 2 weeks. I don't know when you're seeing this video, but then I will start doing review maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, until I get at least 4 videos. And also you'll see it more, because when I present things related to full frame camera lenses, obviously we will see it, but on video side, when I test the anamorphic lenses or cinema lenses, you will see it again. I explain more things, more feature. So I think this is a fantastic project to get this camera, to help me learn more and to share more on the YouTube channel. So thank you to Digit Photo for sending it as soon as possible. Thank you to you for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Small button down here is a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. I'll also leave you links of my gear on Amazon, links of everything I've reviewed by K&F Concept, Sandmarc, and Flashes by Westcott, and also other links to other brands. I've got affiliated links here. Maybe you're interested, so if you use them, it gives me a small help, and also a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourself, and see you soon. Bye.